When one of his trucks drives off, Mustafa Toumcu feels a bit hopeful again. The trucking company owner used to do good business in neighboring Syria. But it's been quite some time since he's been able to send goods over the border into the war-torn country. He says conditions are nightmarish.
Our trucks wait an average of 12 days at the border. Then they're allowed to proceed to a transshipment point where the freight is loaded onto a Syrian truck. We don't know where it goes then. We get paid in cash at the border and that's it.
Turkish authorities don't seem to care who ends up getting the freight. Officially, Ankara denies that here at Unjipinar, one of the few Turkish-Syrian border crossings that are still open, shipments intended for the Islamic State militants are passing through. Syrian traders transfer bales of cloth from one truck to another in front of the gates of the border crossing. They don't want to be filmed or answer questions. They say that might upset their employers. But nearby, the recipient of the goods is written in big letters on the sacks, a certain Ahmad in Raqqa, the center of the IS-controlled area. And a Syrian truck driver tells us that most of the freight here does go to the regions under IS control. He says he took cement to Raqqa. It was ordered and picked up by middlemen. He never saw the client. The Turkish government doesn't consider itself responsible. Officially, the shipments of food, steel, and cement are considered humanitarian aid for reconstruction. And the Western-supported Syrian opposition allows the shipments to pass, presumably in exchange for bribes. According to the Turkish government, goods worth some €1 billion were shipped to Syria in the first 9 months of this year. The cities close to the border make little profit from that. The cement, steel, and textiles are brought from Western Turkey. Regional products are not in demand, say local entrepreneurs.
We made our living from tourism and a bit of border trading with Syria, but that's stopped completely. Then there are the 130,000 Syrian refugees in our little town alone. That's as many as the entire European Union has taken in.
150 kilometers to the east lies the Syrian-Kurdish border city of Kobane. It's been under siege by IS militias for weeks. The Kurds say not only is Turkey turning a blind eye when goods reach the terrorists, they're also able to get additional weapons and fighters. A Kurdish-affiliated television station managed to shoot footage of a group of armed men crossing the border without being stopped. Shortly afterwards, they were shot and killed, presumably by Kurdish units. To prevent more fighters from illegally crossing the border, Kurdish volunteers have secured the area near Kobane. For weeks, hundreds of self-appointed guards have been holed up in border villages. They go out on patrols each night, according to these Kurds from Istanbul.
When we catch somebody crossing the border, we hand them over to the authorities, but the police here are not to be trusted.
They try everything to drive us out, but IS is able to organize resupplies of weapons and additional fighters without a problem. And they go the other way. If they get cornered, they flee over here.
On this night, there's not much activity. The border guards say their patrols are a deterrent, but even they can't stop extremists from crossing the border. Nor can they prevent hundreds of trucks from crossing over each day. It seems Islamic State doesn't have to worry about its supply lines.